Kiki here, and we're going to start the next chapter. So let's get into it, shall we? So we're on chapter 7, and um, so far that I remember, Asagi is being very bold and very touchy. And as I recall, Kagra has came into the room, and we're gonna find out why he came into the room. So let's find out. So after looking back and forth between us, Kagra turned his gaze towards me. No matter who saw me right now, everyone must think that I looked a woman. Yeah, you can't hide the fact that you're limited clothes because you were trying to change, as I recall. Then Gaga began to timidly open his mouth with a blank stare on his face. So, what's going on here? It's, Sheena, you're a woman. You were deceiving us? Does my lord know about this? I don't know how to answer those questions, Kagra. I really don't. Kagra questioned me with a look over me with a piercing glaze. I stood motionless, unable to come up with an answer. Yeah, you can't really hide it. Oh, God. I found myself at loss of words, unable to think how I should handle this solution. Perhaps Cocker thought my silence itself as my answer. He pursed his lips with a serious cloud in his face. I am going to inform my lord of this. I could see leader's sullen expression engraved in the back of my mind. I immediately got nervous. I support for my village, avenging my brother, sharing secrets with Asaki. So many thoughts flashed through my mind. Dumbfounded, I stood emotionless as my face grew pale. It was then that Asaki decides to speak up. You really think so? Sheena looks like a girl to you, Kaga? What are you doing, Asaki? Asaki asked Kaga with his unusual calm voice. Kaga sent Asaki a dubious gaze. What do you mean, looks like? During our last mission, you had to take care of this, the son of a merchant who got a thing for cute girls. So I made Shino dress as a girl to catch the guy off guard. Good man you are! I felt as if Asaki were digging his own grave, and a chill ran down my spine. However, Asaki continued speaking in a nonchalant manner. I was impressed how good of a job I did with I wanted that I wanted to take one more look at Gino before he changed back. So, what do you think? He almost looks like a girl, doesn't he? Pretty impressive, if you ask me. Saki then wrapped his arms around my shoulder and drew me in. Oh my god. How many times are you going to save my hide? Saki closed the distance between us even more so so that Cocker could not get a clear view of my body. He did his best to hide everything about me that might have given me away. His hands reached with his hand, which was wrapped around my shoulder, felt as if it started to sweat. Oh, he's nervous too. Jesus Christ. In the midst of this tense atmosphere, I swallowed my breath. I then confidently stood, proud and looking at Kakura right back in the eye. Asagi's been terrible. He's been making fun of me the past 10 minutes, telling me I look like a girl. I thought we did a good job with your disguise. What do you think, Kakura? Yeah, I get that you're saying, but I was the top ninja at my village. I'd rather have you praise me for my skills instead of my disguises. Wearing disguises is part of being a ninja is all about. I'm telling you that you look good. Stop complaining. I tried to cover up the situation, make sure Kagura couldn't get suspicious of us. Asaki understood exactly what I was trying to do, so he played along. After Kagura looked at Asaki and me, he slightly tilted his head to the side. You're disguised as a woman? Kagura completely stopped his tracks before leaving the room. I had no idea. You sure fooled me. Really? Shino, this must be your calling. No! Shots fired again. Yeah, I don't know if that's exactly what I had in mind for my future. Then, how about training at Shintaro's place a bit and putting some mass muscle on that frame? All Shintaro does is train. If Shino trains like that, then he's not going to be able to disguise himself as a girl anymore. Kakura repeatedly nodded to us. Anyway, what are you Anyway, what are you doing here, Kakura? With his arms still around my shoulder, Saki tried to change the subject. Kakura did not doubt our claim for a second. He quietly answered Asaki as he placed the paper in his hand. It's a message from my lord to Asagi. He said he's bringing something to Himura's shrine tomorrow. He said he will be there around noon. Therefore, he wants you to be at the shrine by then. Mikoto seems to be looking out for us. Tell him thanks for me if you see him later tonight. Alright, well, good night. After giving us a bow, Kakura quietly walked out of the room. After I was sure Kakura was gone, I made sure to check if the coasts were cleared this time. Masaki and I looked at one another and let out a big sigh. You think we're okay now? Yeah, I can't sense anyone else nearby. Oh, what do you mean you can't sense anyone nearby? Oh my god. Our moment, the moment our eyes met, met was the moment I realized how close we were to one another. And he's blushing again. Perhaps noticing this as well, Asaki took his hands off my shoulder and subtly created some distance between us. I was just so slightly that I could still faintly feel Saki's warmth on my shoulder, which made my heart racing for some reason. I thanks Sasaki, you saved me back there. That's because we're in this together, Saki said before looking away from me. If your secret gets out, then my secret will get out as well. That's the only reason why I helped. Is that the only reason? Huh? Is that is that the only reason? Seriously? I questioned the skeptical manner which Saki applies without even missing a beat. Why would I lie about something like that? We know each other's secrets. That's the only reason why I did. Well, that's it. Like, I thought maybe you did it on a whim or something. How's that any different from what I just said? I don't know, maybe you did it because, you like me? Or you just being friendly? Or being friendly, more of the, not saving your ass kind of thing? Saki laughed through his nose. Okay. As if he had lost all interest in the conversation. However, I felt that there was a different way of interpreting his words. I suddenly hung my head low out of sadness, and Saki quickly patted me on the head. When I timidly lifted my head back up to look at him, Asaki immediately took his head off of my head. He didn't even look at me once more. I'm Make sure you don't catch a cold. Good night. And just like that, Asaki left my room. I silently watched over Asaki as he left my room. The only thing left my room was this awkward, complicated atmosphere. Unable to stand it any longer, I gently shut the door. It was hazy blur. Asagi and Kagura were staring right at me. Kiki, I knew you were a woman. He stared at me as I stood, slightly dressed. I could not stand the situation, so I facing Saki in a panic of guidance. Saki gave me the sweetest smile I had ever seen. He then gave Kagura a nod. She sure is. Saki. Kiki, look how beautiful you are. There's no way we can keep this a secret. Saki said. He wrapped his arm around my shoulder. He finally pulled me in and gently looked up, and I gently looked up into his eyes, and he guided me. His beautiful eyes were right there before me. Now close your eyes. Are we dreaming this? Is this what we're... Are we dreaming this? I'm just at... Our face grew closer, then our lips. Yeah, we were asleep. I looked down at myself and checked how I was dressed. Once I fully calmed down, I thought back to my dream, which made my face turn completely red. I wanted to tear my hair out, and I instinctively dropped my head into my hands. However, time awaits for no one. I remembered that Makoto wanted to see me, so I got myself ready as fast as I could. And then I thought back to it. I still feel... I could still feel Asagi's touch all over my body for some reason. My heart still hammering against my chest. And I rushed out of my room, unable to sort out these vulgar feelings I had. But vague feelings I had? Okay, later that day, I went into the Himuro shrine with something to deliver as Makoto told me to do. It was that Kagura was telling us about yesterday. I took the neatly wrapped item with me onto the grounds of the shrine. The shrine was a lot busier than normal, and everyone there was scaring about. While making sure I keep my card up, I jogged into the main building of the shrine. I almost screamed the moment I entered the building. Asagi's father, Mikurin, had coughed up the immersive amount of blood and now lying on the floor. The workers at the shrine were screaming for everyone from blankets to doctors as they carried Mikurin back to the back room. Ooh. All what's left was a half-done ritual, and Asaki, who was in the middle of performing said ritual. Asaki. When I called out his name, he slowly looked up at me. He looked almost as if he were going to cry. I'm embarrassed that you saw all this. Don't worry about me. Go spend time with your father. It was right when I was trying to urge Asaki to go see his father. Two nagging middle-aged men appeared in front of the shrine. People... But Asaki ignored me as I worried, faced the members of the head family and bowed. Did you come to see McCurran? I heard a rumor that he was having some chest problems, so I came quickly as I could. It breaks my heart to know that he had to force himself to perform these prayer rituals even though he was so severely sick. The members of the head family looked so pensive, but their eyes were so cruel when they looked at Asagi. I'm sure that his kitchen gotten worse because how inexperienced Asagi is. I'm guessing it was too much for him. The two priests went back and forth agreeing with one another. Just as I feared, the two men started to berate Asagi. We can't have this shrine use the immoral name anymore after the like you takes over. You need to shut this place down. We can't have you during our name any longer. An experienced chat, you say. I can't deny that. The midst of verbal abuse, Saki said nothing else and he tightly bit down on his lip. Just then those two men filled me with rage along with empathy for Asagi, causing my heart to ache. There won't be a problem as long as you understand that we must prepare to have the Himo name stripped from this shrine. Then we need to hurry and get rid of Asagi's inheritance rights. We need to hold a meeting immediately. Taking out the trash sure is a lot of work. I'm getting a headache just thinking about it. Even though he said he was getting a headache, the priest was smiling from ear to ear as he talked down to Asagi. After that, the two priestesses turned around to leave. The next moment they turned around, Saki spoke up in especially a deep voice. I will not let you do that. What? You can't. You can put me down as much as you like. I know more than anyone how pathetic I am. However, I will not let you destroy this shrine. This shrine that Makurin worked so hard to protect. Saki sent the two priests standing next to each other, a cold, piercing gaze. It was no longer the laid-back, joking Saki that I knew. He was so confident and so dignified that his words and actions, he was so grateful and sincere. After seeing him like this, I naturally found myself lost for words. These two men looked down on Nisaki in scornful manner, but even they found themselves lost for words for a moment when they saw how serious looked in Asaki's eyes. No matter how much you beg, there's nothing we can do for the shrine that does not have anyone who can perform prayer rituals. Exactly. There is no way you're going to be able to carry the weight of the Himuro name all by yourself. The priests were so worked up that they went back and verbally abusing Asaki once again. Unable to hold back any longer, I walked out and stood between the two priests and Asagi. The two priests, which I was now used to seeing, stared at me as if they were upset that I had the audacity to speak out again. I let a deep breath before continuing. Now, everything has gotten serious. This is the second time seeing the two of them, seeing the two of them attacking Asagi with our character, and yeah, it's so angry to see that in a way, and it's like, oh, why, kind of thing. So yeah, I have a feeling that with these two, it's either going to be Sagi and I will have to kill them, or that they will tell Makoto that uh, that he's not a diviner as he thought he is, and yeah, something like that. I'm not too sure. So it's gonna be very interesting. So, Anyway, I hope you guys liked the video. And I'm sorry for yawning so much. It's late at night. So, and I hope you guys like. See you guys in the next video. See ya.